Hello and welcome to the IzzyVerse. I'm Izzy. I'm your host for this evening, this great show that we're going to have here. And before we get to our special guest of the day, I want to go over a few house cleaning rules here. I want to talk a little bit about things that are going on within the IzzyVerse, starting with a sale. We're actually going to have a sale over at Squiggy's Dugout. So let me just go ahead and show you that. Squiggy Dugout is a partnership that we have here at IzzyVerse. We're going to be doing a sale there. As you can see here, it's great sale comic book, back issues, $1 each, independent titles, $1, collector set, 50% off, and graphic novels. You could go to Squiggy's Dugout in New Rochelle. There's the information there, and it's a great place. You could say hi, tell them Izzy sent you, all right, and they'll hook you up. So another thing I want to share with everybody, which I'm really excited for, is this Wednesday we're going to have our Book of Boba Fett spoiler review. It's going to be really fun. I have a nice set of panelists that we're going to talk a little bit about Book of Boba Fett, all the characters in the show, some surprises that we've seen, what we're expecting from the end of the season, and what it's going to lead up to for the Star Wars universe. So look out for that one. That's this Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Be expecting some great information, great surprises from a lot of guys who I'm really excited to be talking with. And finally, on Friday, we have a very special Friday edition of the IzzyVerse in which we're going to be talking to Nat Melendez. He is a cover artist extraordinaire. Just recently, he has a cover now for the book Vampirellas coming out this Wednesday. We'll also have some free giveaways to go along with that. And I'm really excited for that one. I'm really excited to talk to Nate. It's been a while since I had a chat with Nate in particular. So there's your house cleaning rules for today. And now let's go down to the main event. We're going to be talking to Dafu Yu. So let me bring him out right here, and let's bring out Dafu. Hey Dafu, how you doing, man?
Hey, Izzy, how's it going?
I'm going. I'm doing well. How's everything going on in your end, your
I'm
neck
fine
of
on
the
my
world?
end too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Dafu, we gotta let's talk a little bit about your artwork. But before we get there, I wanna get the audience a better understanding of who Dafu Yu is really. So Dafu, can you just introduce yourself to the audience here, and we'll talk a little bit about what you do and what's your world like in this comic book
Yeah.
industry that we're in.
Yeah, sure. So I'm basically like a freelance comic book artist. Like I started out as a penciler, and then I gradually started inking also, and then eventually going to full colors. So I've been doing that since 2009,
Hmm.
and that's what I've been doing all this time. And so recently I've been more focused on my own stuff. So I've been working creating my own submissions to companies and see how that goes. That's pretty much it.
Awesome, awesome. So, I met you. I'm trying to remember when I met you, but it was around that same time when you got
Yeah,
started,
when I broke
right?
in. Yeah, glad you brought that up because like I think we took the comics experience class in 2008.
Yeah,
That
I,
was the
I
last.
honestly don't remember the
Yeah,
year.
I sort of remember. I think like because that was the last time they had it live in person.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we met that class, and then like I think if you might not remember this, but our last assignment for the class was to bring in sample pages. I think. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember. Bring
Yeah,
out
I
sample
brought
pages.
in my Darkness Witchblade sample pages, and so we got a good critique out of it. I made some adjustments, and then I took those sample pages, and like I think in the summer of 2000, no, wait, yeah, around that time, summer maybe I took that portfolio. I applied like on the website of Digital Weapons. They were looking for my first job from Bluewater Productions, the Tony and Cleo. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how I got it. That's how I broke in my first
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember us getting together in the comic experience with Annie Shit's class, and I think it was my first go around. I actually took the class twice,
Oh wow.
um, and it wasn't for those of you who don't know. The comic experience is not an artist class to say that they're going to teach you how to draw. They're expecting you to know how to draw already,
Yeah.
and as part of it, it's really more of a critique class
Mm.
where we look at each other's artworks and samples and give each other critiques of what we like and what we think needs improvement. The experience in itself is fantastic, and I enjoyed doing it. And it really broke the door for me personally, and I'm sure it did the same for you, Dafu. where we were
Yeah.
able to just kind of like, okay, now we're kind of like we got our foot in the door. Let's go ahead and see where it takes us, right?
Yeah.
And I know looking at your career, the way I've been looking at it in particular, I've been noticing, wow, this, he's been able to do a lot of stuff in that time period. Um, you know, where I ended up working with the Pronto team and then eventually ended up here with the IzzyVerse. You were actually in the comic book business, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that comic book business. But before that, um, what are some things that you could say drew you into comic books in particular, and why you love drawing in
Hmm.
particular?
Yeah, I think growing up as a kid, I just naturally enjoy drawing. I was like the class artist, and and like I remember when I immigrated here the first time in the late '80s, my cousin who was already here, he handed me a stack of comics, and it was mostly like the X-Men and Spider-Man. And at the time, I didn't know English, right? So, but I look at the pictures and I could actually follow the story along, and I actually like uh, grew an interest in the Spider-Man character specifically because of the way he was designed, and he got all these cool powers to So because that reminded me, because I'm Chinese, right? So if you're growing up in China as a kid, the most popular character is probably the Monkey King. And the Spider-Man character reminded me a lot of the Monkey King because they got cool superpowers and they mischief like that. So I gravitated towards Spider-Man, and that's grew my love in comics. I didn't really consider like doing it professionally. I think I I wanted to do it professionally like when I was like in the fourth grade. I think in 1990. If you remember, Marvel during that time they came out with their first trading card set. The Marvel, I
Yeah, I
forgot.
remember the trading card
Yeah,
set.
right. I was collecting it as a kid. My classmate was collecting it, so I could draw. What I did was I looked at the drawings, I imitated the drawings, and I started selling it to my friends in class for like yeah, like 25 cents, 50 cents, and they bought it. I was like, "Oh, wow, I can make money off of this? Yeah, sure, let's go." And I was like, yeah, that's how it started for me, like, as a kid, yeah.
Well, I it's funny that you say that. I still have my card set.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
still
have some
have
of them too, but they're not in good condition, though.
No, mine's are in pretty good condition. I got series 1 through 4. I think after 4 it kinda, like, died down and fizzled
Right, yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
But, I still have them, man. I love
Oh,
those
that's
card
cool.
sets. I wish there was a way that those card sets could kinda, like, make a comeback. I don't know how, but there's so many other collectible card sets that are out there that are a little different.
No, but the first
Um
one is worth. You know the first one is
Mhm.
worth? They consider rookie cards now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Wow. I have
you
them
should
all. I
yeah, you
got the
should look it up on eBay,
holograms
they
and all
worth
that
money.
stuff.
You should get it graded.
Oh, that's never thought about that. It's just
Yeah.
it's sitting like right up there in my closet up there. It's just like pretty much everything else in my collection is in the closet and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. All right, so let's take this opportunity now to really let's take a look at your artwork. I'm sure the people that are watching, whether they're watching the live stream or they're watching through a recording, they want to see
Yeah.
what your artwork's all about. Let's take an opportunity now. I'm gonna add to the stream some of the pages you worked on, starting with right in the beginning. So we'll look at that one in a little bit later. But
Okay.
really, um, as we see here, we see a cover that you worked on, Tony and Cleo,
Yes.
from Bluewater Productions. We'll also talk a little bit more about Grimm Fairy Tales, Rex Zombie Killer, and Rex Zombie Killer. I think it's a fun one that I definitely
Oh, no. Hello? Hello?
that experience working on Rex Zombie Killer, especially with a title like that. It's just what,
Alright.
especially just looking at the artwork in particular. But let's start with this first one here. The one
Hello? Is it you getting, you freezing a little bit? Hello, Izzy?
Mhm. All right.
Hello?
We're
Hello?
having a little bit of technical difficulties
Yeah.
here. Let's see if we could.
Can you hear me? So Izzy is having some technical issues, so we should be right back. Oh, is this live? But like, I guess I could talk about my art process. Like, well, like a lot of artists, I just start out with pencils and doing little stick figure sketches. Once I'm happy with that, I go on to type pencils, and then from there I'll go on to inking. Okay, is he coming back?
Hey, Dafu, can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I could hear you.
Give me 1 second here while I get this working. There we go. Okay, I'm back. All right,
I'm back.
Hello.
Technical issues.
Okay.
Technical issues.
No problem.
Internet has a way of acting these days. So
Yeah.
let's get back.
Oh no.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So now talk to me a little bit about Tony and Cleo.
Yeah, like at the beginning, I was just telling that was my first job. I applied for it on the website Digital Webbing, and I got
Mhm.
hired to be the penciler of it's like a 4-issue miniseries.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like my first job, like penciling like more than a few pages. So that was a
Mhm.
great learning experience.
So what was the experience like in particular? Like how nervous were you? Were there things about the book in particular that you were like, I don't know if I can make this happen?
Yeah. So the thing I was worried about like keeping on the schedule.
Mhm.
Because at the time I was still in college, so I was yeah, I was like I did my graduate studies, almost went into
Mhm.
teaching. So when I was doing that, I got this job, and mostly about the deadline. But if anything comes up, I'll tell the editor, and he's fine. He's cool with it. So I think I finished the 4 issues in like a little bit about a year.
Mm.
That's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. It's a crazy time right now. So
Yeah, it's live.
I know. All right. So we have here Silent Night and Sky Girl. Tell me a
Right.
little bit about these two in particular.
Yeah, these are my most recent work. The Silent Night is my last published work, I believe. That came out, I'm gonna say, maybe 2018. I did this with a funny story. It's created by a guy from the comics experience. He was a comic experience writer also. George O'Connor.
Mhm.
Uh, this is basically the concept is basically Santa as like a private investigator who finds lost children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now
that's
I
how
see
you see it.
it.
The Silent Night. Yeah,
It didn't dawn on me when I saw it at first. My first initial reaction was like, "It is a pretty cool drawing." It's like when you see Santa, you don't expect him to be so
yeah,
thin. So,
yeah. It's a
what was
different
that?
take on Santa. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. And what about Sky Girl book?
yeah. Sky Girl. Yes, is by another. This one's a prose book. I did the cover for it as by Joe Sergi.
Hmm.
He's also from Comics Experience. And this
Okay.
one's more. Yeah, this one's more for like a grade school read, and
Hmm.
it's like about this girl in middle school.
Hmm.
Um, she from this long line of superpower beings or something like that.
Yeah.
And what's unique is like all the teachers and faculty in the school are like these villains disguised as humans.
Mm.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah. Now, what I've noticed immediately in Sky Girl in this particular cover is that your style is slightly different. It's more of an anime manga
Yeah, I
style.
have like two different styles. As you can see, like the Silent Night is more like the mainstream comic book style, and I
Hmm.
also have a cartoony one for the Sky Girl.
Yeah, I see.
I enjoy,
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoy doing both. So,
Hmm. All right, so let's take a look at one that I was very curious about when I saw it, and that was Rex Zombie Killer. About Rex Zombie Killer, tell me where this concept came from.
oh, that's where it comes from. Comics experience once again. No, I'm not kidding. Yeah. So, uh, I when I was like trying to break in, I take my portfolio around to those like comic conventions. I think this one was at a New York Comic Con,
Hmm.
and they have these creator get-togethers to like like hook up writers and artists,
Hmm.
and I came around to this guy Rob Anderson, and we started talking, and then we found out we were from Comics Experience, and we hit it right off, and then we did some small gigs first, like backup stories, like to test out to see if we are matched with each other, and then he pitched me this idea, which is basically is about a hyper intelligent golden retriever, and they with a pack of animals going through like trekking across the U.S. During a zombie apocalypse. They're trying to go back to the dog's owner. Yeah,
Now, was this during the hype of The Walking Dead when it came out?
yeah, I think so. It's like we did like a one shot, like a 56-page one shot in 2011. So that was the
Hmm.
height of The Walking Dead, right? I feel like
Yeah, it was a while ago. I know they're at their final season now,
yeah.
so it's been a while. Unfortunately, I tuned out after a while. It's just after a while, I was like I couldn't take it no more. But but
It's a bit too much.
yeah, it was a little too much. And it was like it was a very repetitive after a while. So I want to continue looking at it and tell me a little bit about this ape because I see this ape is definitely one of the mainstays of this
Oh
of
yeah,
the
that's
story.
the Kenji the Ape. He's the star. He's the one with the baseball bat,
Yeah.
and he could do sign language. So yeah, he's like the muscle of the group, of course.
Yeah.
Smashing the zombies.
But I love the landscape of the Statue of Liberty here with the buildings and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
this
How
was quite a scene to draw because like this is an actual place in Las Vegas.
Mhm,
Like I think it's I forgot what the hotel is called, but they actually have that statue with the buildings, and there's a roller coaster around the buildings too.
mhm.
So that was very hard to draw because I had to reference and make it look somewhat resemble the actual buildings.
Yeah, and what exactly did you do this story around
Oh,
early
what year?
2011, right?
Huh?
You said 2011, 2010
Yeah,
around
that
that
was the
era?
first one shot, and then we took like a break, and then we came back. The mini series. This is the mini series, 1 through 4. This
Mhm.
came out in 2014, I believe.
Yeah. So how was it trying to get reference at that time? Because, it was 2014, so it's not really
No,
that
not
long
that.
ago.
That was pretty. I just looked it up, like the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, so you did a little Google search and things like
Yeah, it's
that?
fine. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Now I would like to go into the page in particular and tell me
Hmm.
a little bit about your process, starting with that very first page, with the house, and what things you could say that you were thinking about when you doing these pages.
All right. So normally, Rob, the writer, would send me the script, and I would start once I do like a one read through, and then the second time I read through it, I draw little stick figure thumbnails on the script, and then I used to do little thumbnails, like a full half a piece of paper, just draw thumbnails and send it to Rob.
Hmm.
But what I found is like afterwards, when I actually do the actual one, I still have to make small changes here and there. So what I did is like after the thumbnails, I just draw straight on the actual page. I do
Hmm.
things traditionally still. So on the 11-inch by 17-inch board,
Yeah.
yeah. So I go in with a loose pencils,
Hmm.
and then I show it to Rob for approval. And once
Hmm.
he approved them, I just go on straight to the inking.
So you don't have a particular editor. He was pretty
He's
much
the
your
editor.
editor.
He's the
Yeah.
editor, writer, creator.
Yeah. You're just the pencil guy, right?
Yeah,
And
the
and you
artist.
did
Yeah,
and you did the inks too. So
yeah. Pencil and
um
ink.
So when you do your pencils and your ink, I know for my process in particular, when I'm penciling and inking, I'm more loose with my pencils, because I know what I want when I get to my inks, right?
Hmm.
As opposed to if someone's inking my work, what I will do, I try to be as precise as I could possibly be to convey the message I want that inker to know.
Right.
How is it for you in particular, with your penciling process when you have to ink your own work?
Right. Well, once Rob approves it, I I I just draw the outline. No shadows, nothing,
Hmm.
and then I go back and forth between the two. Like
Hmm.
I would do, but I don't do type pencils like I used to do, so
Hmm.
because that will save a lot of time.
Yeah. So now your pencils are more looser now than
Yeah, of
before.
course, yeah.
Okay.
And
So.
also, like back then, this is mostly done with micron pens.
Mhm.
Yeah, I regret that because they take long. So what as
Yeah.
I progress, like right now, I do like half micron pens and half like brush pens. It
Mhm.
speeds up a lot of the time.
Yeah. Tell me how it feels to use a brush in particular, even though it's a
A brush
brush
pen, yeah.
pen.
It's
How does it feel? Do you like the feeling? Do you think it works?
I like it when I draw big. It really helps. Like if you have a broad stroke to draw, the brush just like so quick.
Mhm.
And it's softer on your hands too.
Mhm.
Whereas when you're gripping, I have to grip hard on the micron pen and do little stuff with it, so it hurts
Mhm.
the hand more. I have to
Yeah.
say.
Mm. Yeah, I remember drawing pictures, and I remember back in my time when I would draw a lot and ink a lot, I would always use like a micron pen, but then I would go into your traditional Sharpie and things like that,
Yeah.
just to get the thick, chisel pen. And then when I finally learned how to draw with a brush and utilize a brush stroke in particular, it was so much more fun that way. I think I was having more fun with the brush because I was starting to learn how to do things with a brush that you couldn't to do with a traditional pen,
Yeah.
um, and things like that. So yeah, I agree with you. It's like the brush, even though at first it's a little hard to getting used to, it's kind of like airbrushing in a way.
Yeah.
But using a brush what actually brings this level of intensity that you probably wouldn't have gotten with a micron, because a micron has a tendency of making the image a little more staticky than more exciting and intense,
Yeah.
where with a brush you're more allowed to be a little loose. You got to be more careful, I think, with a
Yeah,
brush.
of course.
But at the same time, the feeling is good. And I also learned that when you do a mistake with a brush, it's easy to go with a white pen to kind of fix that, as opposed with a micron pen when you don't really think of it that way.
Hmm.
Um, so let's look at that first page, and let's look at the panel to panel layouts,
Hmm.
in particular. So I see that you in that first panel you have this establishing shot.
Yeah.
Um, so you do the establishing shot, and then you get closer to the shot with the gorilla and the dog,
Hmm.
and it's hard to see from my perspective because I actually have something in the way of my visual, but I see a lot of things going on here. So can you just tell me panel to panel a little bit about how it's looking, how it's processing? Are you liking it? Are you going chronological? Are you picking and choosing where you want to draw first? What's a little bit about that process that you have?
Well, in each page, I try to draw like I have to focus on what is the most important panel, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes that could be the action of the characters, or it could be like what they say in the script. That's the most important. So for this particular page, the first one, I chose to focus on the house because
Mhm.
like the previous panels before that, the animals are getting ready. I think right here, there's two groups of animals. I think they split up, right? And so
Mhm.
what the zombie horde is attacking this house with some people inside, and the animals are trying to rescue those people. So that's why I
Mhm.
focused on the house for the
Mhm.
most importance. And
And
then
with
we
this, yeah, continue.
oh well, I was going to talk about the next page.
Yeah, I was gonna get right there. Next page. Talk to me a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
about the next
so
page.
and the next page is like the from the animal's perspective, right? They're looking at the house, right? Like they're
Mhm.
planning what to do next, and the focus is on the third panel with the little girl in the car is
Mhm.
about to get attacked by the zombies, and then the dog Rex is like like telling the animals what to do.
Mhm.
That's what I did.
I really like the way that you took the dog in particular, and he escapes the panel,
Right.
which is a nice little trick that you have. No other character in that page does that. Was what was the purpose behind doing that in particular in your mind?
The dog. Which panel are you referring to?
So I'm looking at panel 2 and I'm looking at panel 4, and I
Right.
see I see the dog is coming out of the panel.
Yeah, yeah. He went
Um,
to the other group of animals. I think that's what's
mhm.
happening.
Yeah, but what was the reason why you decided to take the dog and put him out of the panel? That's the question I'm having. Why
Uh
did you make that decision?
oh, you mean he's like overlapping the panel? You mean like?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's what it's just a little trick. Anything that breaks the panel is more dynamic.
Mhm.
That's what I do. It.
Yeah, because I like how it's done, and it kind of like it puts that centerpiece on that dog in particular. And you're trying to see where that dog's going, and at the same time, you're seeing that this girl needs to be rescued from these zombies that are about to attack her. So I do like that approach to that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do that a lot. Like breaking the panel, it really like
yeah.
makes it more dynamic and focuses on the character.
All right, so let's take a look at some more pages here from the book. Now we have a little squirrel
Yes,
going on. So talk
this
to
is
me a little bit about that one.
yeah. This is a continuation from the previous pages.
Hmm.
So what happened is, I think the Rex, the dog, the animals could talk to each other. Okay, so
Hmm.
yeah. So I think he told these squirrels to like jump on the zombies, like to lure them away from the humans, and that's what's happening on it. Yeah,
And this splash page that you have, this two-page spread, talk to me a
yeah.
little bit about that one.
This one is I believe this should be the last issue, issue 4. They have just uh the the Rex's owner is actually a scientist.
Hmm.
Spoiler alert. Uh, and the animals are trying to rescue her from this military sergeant or whatever, and they're to fight the zombies and the army all together. So yeah, that's when they're breaking it in.
Oh, okay,
And
great.
this page was like, wow, this has been a long time. After like, I enjoyed doing this page because like I said, this I didn't say this before, but I think this was my first job that I started inking my own pencils.
Hmm.
So I didn't know how it was gonna go. It's like,
Hmm.
so what I like about this particular piece is the way I render the animals and the people are different, and you can see the rendering in the background in the mountain
Hmm.
is a lot different texture than the character. So I was really happy with that.
Yeah, it looks great. I love it.
Thank
And
you.
then finally, we're gonna go to two books here. Now, these are not your covers. Like I'll
No,
say
they're
that
not.
much. But it is. This is the first time you were in a major production company, right?
Yeah.
Um, so Zenescope, which is a major indie comic, and they're known for their Grimm Fairy Tales covers in particular. But you were asked to do a story for them, 55 and no 54 and 55. Am I right?
Hmm.
Of Grimm Fairy Tales, the first volume set, I guess, of the books. Now, what story is it that we're doing here? Is it supposed to be like a Snow White story?
I think so. It's like the main character is the one on the left. I
Mhm.
forgot her name. Honestly.
It's
I
been a
don't
while,
remember.
right?
Right, and
But
then this the right is the god. I remember that this the right on the right is the Goblin Queen. The
yeah,
Goblin
the
Queen.
Goblin Queen, yeah.
Yeah. So they're
Mhm.
going against each other. That's what happened in the 2 issues I was on.
Okay, so let's take a moment and take a look at these particular pages. So I was able to capture them from Comicology. So if anybody wants to look at these books and you want to see them, they could be found in Comicology. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here so you guys can see the books that I'm seeing, and we'll go ahead and we'll be looking at page 54. Right, starting with this particular page. This is the opening scene.
Yeah, the opening scene.
So we see here are again, we have an establishing shot in the top, so very important to have that establishing shot. And
Yes.
we see this cabin, and inside the cabin is a pregnant woman with her husband or her lover, or whatever, significant other, as we'll say.
Mhm.
And I see here how you have them talking to each other, but what you ended up doing is you in these three panels, you have the establishing shot followed by the shot to show where they are, the setting,
Mhm.
and then you close up on her here. So talk to me a little bit about working in Zenscope in particular and what kind of things you learned from working from this particular company.
Right. So this one was I think this Zenescope was my second job after the Tony and Cleo.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the way working with them was it's pretty straightforward. I feel like they got the script ready. I sent them thumbnails. They approved it, and I start drawing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's. I think the thing about them was the deadline was really hard to meet. I
Hmm.
think they like I have to do like 22 pages in a month,
Hmm.
and one of the issues I wasn't able to do that, and I was only able to do like half an issue
Mm.
because this is my second job. Back then, I was still like learning, like
Yeah.
yeah, so like I wasn't
But
that
they
fast.
but they cut you a break, right? They pretty much say, "Hey, we have this guy here who's done one book. We
Yeah.
like his artwork, and we want." And I remember at that particular time, Zenscope was big. They were booming, right? Everybody loved
Oh,
their
yeah, absolutely,
covers.
yeah.
Everybody loved their covers. Everybody was into it. They were beautiful. And then to find out that you got a job in Zenscope, I was like, "Oh, good job, Dafu, man. I'm so proud of you." So it was good to see that. I want to take a look at some of these pages in particular. Um, we have here a nice little conversation going back and forth. Um, Obviously, he's doing
Right.
some work, so you see panel 1, 2, and 3, as the scene continues, but then we have the start of a new scene, and we see that he is outside, he's cutting wood, and he's approached by these two men, and they want to talk to him. It's I love the interactions with the characters and how they're responding. So acting is very important in
Yeah.
artwork, and I could see the acting there. I see that one guy, the gentleman in the back, um how he's like, I got my hands up, because
Right.
obviously he's concerned that he's gonna an axe on him. But one of the things I love in particular is just the way the dynamic going, the back and forth here. Um, then we continued this particular scene. I was like, this is nice. So
Yeah.
tell me what it was like drawing something like this. Especially, did you have reference for this type of character in particular?
No, I did not. But they say it was like the Ares, the god of war. So I
Hmm.
went with that.
Okay.
So I was pretty happy with this. Drawing characters like these are fun. Like they just like super villains, superheroes is fun.
Hmm.
The tough part is drawing the ordinary scenes. Those are hard to draw.
Yeah. So let's skip a couple of pages here and let's see if we could find one. You know what? I'm gonna go right here. This one in particular here. Seeing the girl in battle. I
Mm,
lo- I love the battle scenes and things like that. I just love the fact that you got her, swinging her sword to this I guess this demon character or this
yeah, with the
troll.
goblins or whatever.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, the goblins. And I see the blood coming out. That's the part I love. The little bit of blood coming out of his mouth. But what I do love is just seeing the how the artwork is flowing and how it's working together.
Yeah.
Um, Also, the color does a lot of good work for this particular piece. But I'm personally a big fan of your pencils.
Uh-huh.
I love seeing your pencils as they are.
All right. Thank
Um,
you.
and color's always great. I'm not going against color in any way, but I like seeing the original black and whites and see what the artist was thinking about originally. So this is something that's really good to look at.
Mm.
All right. We have another scene here. This particular character I'm looking at, he looks like a character from Lord of the Rings.
Well,
I
he's a
don't
dwarf, so
He's a dwarf, right? So
yeah,
so there was a connection there.
yeah.
So all right. And talk to me a little bit about, how you were approaching a page like this one.
Well, when I approach a page, I just try to make things interesting by varying the angles and
Mhm.
creating different panel sizes. Those are the
Mhm.
two tricks I use.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at some more pages here. I want to get to a page that stood out. Okay, we got our let's go with this one here in particular. We've got a little splash page here. All right, your
Oh, that's not okay. So this is not me. This is the other artist.
Oh, okay. So this was
This
the
was
other artist.
the other half. Yeah, that I didn't couldn't do it. Yeah.
I see. But he tried to. Did he try to copy your style, or this is just the style in general?
No, that's her. I think it's a she, but that's her style in general. I think.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit more about one of the pages you worked on here. All right, is this one? I believe
Nope.
this is one of your
No,
pages, or not yet? Okay, we're gonna go
no.
back then.
Only. Oh, I forgot. Wow, this has been a long time.
It has been a while.
All right, this one is mine. Yeah.
This was definitely yours. Talk to me a little bit about this page.
Right. So the goblins are burning down the forest, I believe,
Mhm.
and she's trying to get the bees to help her.
Mm. Now I see that you did a close up on the bee in particular. So you had the orcs, they're
Right.
there, and then you have this bee.
I think the
When we
script call for that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm And then, but I see how everything's flowing together. What I do notice is the torch. So in panel number 4, I see the torch. The orc is coming with his torch, and he's about to burn the honey, the
Yeah.
comb.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The honeycomb. And as a result, she's there, and she's like wrong. So, which I like because it's leading me to what's next, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what's next is that battle scene that we just talked about. So she's fighting over the bees.
Right.
Is that what I'm seeing here?
I think she's trying to save them. I forgot. I don't know.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So I love looking at the stuff. Let's go ahead and stop sharing for now and go back to what we want to focus our attention on. So before I let you go, I do want to talk to you a little bit about what you do, what you're working on today.
Right.
And more importantly, I want to showcase this nice little drawing that we're going to be offering up to any one of our viewers. Um, for those of you who are watching this recording, this is one of the drawings that Dafu has offered to us. This is an original piece of Cad Cad Bane from we just recently saw him now in Book of Boba Fett. So on Wednesday we will be giving away this drawing out, this original piece of artwork. Um, and the way you will get this original piece of artwork is simply by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Um, you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you leave a comment when we do Book of Boba Fett this week, and we will randomly select your names, and you may win this piece of artwork, this beautiful original piece of artwork. When we talked about this original piece of artwork, and you went ahead and you drew it, how was it, man? Because this is like one of your most recent works. This is this week,
Yeah.
right? You
I
just did
just did
this.
it like yesterday.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's absolutely, when I saw it, when you sent it to me, I was like, this is perfect,
Yeah.
right?
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. So
Well,
tell me a little bit about the mixed mediums you use. So because I definitely see mixed mediums here.
right. So I was thinking about how to speed up my process. Right.
Mhm,
So one thing is like, for this one, I use a watercolor wash after the inking is
mhm,
done. I go traditional medium again,
mhm,
so it speeds the process.
mhm.
I could color myself, but like if you look at my Instagram, I don't have that many color works because like it takes a long time for me to color. So
Yeah.
that's why I do like these monotone
Mhm.
watercolor washes.
Yeah, and it's beautiful because the only ounce of color is on his eyes,
Yeah,
and it works. It
yeah, it
does
does
the
work. Yeah,
job. It does the job here, because obviously when you see this character Cad Bane, it's hard. I'm
yeah.
still trying to work on saying his name. When you see him, first of all, you know he's menacing, right? He's
Right.
he's one of
Yeah.
the worst bounty hunters out there. But at the same time, what you always notice about that character are his eyes,
Yeah.
right? How big they are. And what's beautiful about it is that it's that whole traditional Western meets Star Wars, right?
Hmm.
Um, and it's just gorgeous. So I thank you for this in particular
No
one.
problem.
And I'm looking forward to giving this away, man. As much as I'd love to keep it, I got to give
Right.
it away.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna give it away, and we're going to give it away to a person that would be able to subscribe to the YouTube channel of, again, IzzyVerse YouTube channel, not Facebook, not Instagram, even though we will love to have you there and we want to have you there, but we are asking you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is where you will be entered to win this. And all you'll have to do really is just leave a comment saying you like the IzzyVerse. Share it, subscribe, share it with others. And our goal for this month is to hit 100 subscribers, we're really close, man. Dafu, we're getting there. We're touching
All
it.
right. I hope
We're
you could
getting
do it, man.
Yeah, I'm hopeful to get this sooner than later, but we definitely want to do that. I First of all, I want to say thank you for this piece. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me, man. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning.
Yeah.
I found out what it was.
What was it?
It was multiple internet streams that was causing the problem.
Wow. Okay.
So, and I'm starting to see that people are giving the thumbs up and stuff. So you definitely leave a comment. I would love to see your comments of the stuff you see here. Leave a comment. Also, we're going to have our weekly poll list coming up very soon for this week's comic books. But before I let you go, Dafu, I would like you to share with us your information, where people could find you, and anything else that you have coming up.
Oh yeah, sure. You can find me. I'm most active on my Instagram account, which is my name, is Dafu Yu. So it's like spelled DAFU_YU. So you can always find me there. I constantly update that. And for promoting something, I would like to promote my writer, the guy who I did Silent Night with. He has a Kickstarter going on right now. He got 11 more days to go, and his project is called let me see, Toddler Apocalypse. All right.
Toddler Apocalypse.
Yes. I could like spell it out. A toddler like TODDLER and POCALYPSE. So I think the concept is basically like during an apocalypse, the kids make it harder for you to survive. It's got some just based on that. I want to like read what it's about. So I don't know.
Fun comics. That's what
Yeah,
that
it
is.
sounds, it
Fun
sounds fun.
comics.
I just found out about it, so I thought I would just promote it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I like I said, thank you for doing this with me. It was fun having you. It was fun looking at your artwork. Fun talking about some of the stuff that you've worked on in the past. Again, you can find Dafu in Instagram, Facebook. Just look for Dafu_U, and in Facebook it's Dafu.U.7. That's how I found it.
All right.
And you guys, thank you, Dafu, for coming in. I'm gonna just remove you for a second so we could do our final house cleaning, but you can stick around and we'll talk afterwards, man.
Yeah, sure, man.
All right. So with that being said, it was great having Dafu with us. Again, I just want to go over a few things before I let you guys go, starting with our Squiggy's Dugout. Squiggy's Dugout, you can find it in New Rochelle, right? This is where you could get your comic books. You can let them know Izzy sent you, right? For this month, right? For this month, they're gonna have the great sale comic book, 1,000 comic books on sale, off until the end of February. Dollar books. You get some good back issues for $1, independent titles for $1, collectibles for 50% off, graphic comics, right? BOGO sales for those of you who love picking up the graphic novels. I hear it all the time, right? I'm gonna wait for the graphic novel. You could go to Squiggy's Dugout. They're having a great sale there now. You can go there now. Also, just want to remind everybody the spoiler review for the Book of Boba Fett. We're going to have a spoiler review at 6 o'clock. Also, we'll be giving away that Cad Bane drawing. That Cad Bane drawing is going to be given away at the Book of Boba Fett. So pay attention to that. And lastly, we're going to have also on Friday, we're going to have Nate Melendez, who is going to be talking a little bit about his art style, his covers, his beautiful covers that he's been doing lately. Also, it's his Vampirella comic just came out this week. We're going to be talking a little bit about his artwork and everything that goes along with that. So from us to you, thank you for being part of the IzzyVerse. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Again, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok under IzzyVerse NYC, like New York City. In YouTube, you can find the IzzyVerse as well right there. Just look for IzzyVerse. You're going to see the logo and you know you're there. Again, we're looking for 100 subscribers to be part of the YouTube channel. Again, in order for you to be part of the art drawing, the original artwork, you have to be a YouTube subscriber. That is how we're going to do it. So be part of the IzzyVerse. If you notice there's two barcodes in the bottom, two QR codes. You can support the IzzyVerse. One by becoming a Patreon, and you could do a donation of any type. You could do $1 a month for all I care, and that's how you could be a Patreon. And we'll do some exclusives coming soon there. Or you could go to our GoFundMe and leave something there. It helps me out, get some equipment out here. That's what I'm working on. Coming soon, I'm going to have another great interview in the future with some great comic book creators. Also, I'm going to have a wrestling show coming up soon. We'll do the Elimination Chamber, and as well as Revolution that's coming up pretty soon. Batman movie is going to be coming out, so we'll do Izzy review for that one, and so much more. Just whenever you get a chance, just go to the IzzyVerse, like and subscribe. Again, subscribe. Our goal is to get 100 sooner rather than later. So we thank you. Thank you for being part of the IzzyVerse, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.